murderer. You already know what time it is. Gangway, we the team. For sure. Look, I've been really trying to get it, but the people got their handle in my business. Let's go. People say I need to listen, but the way I be too busy flipping, gotta change the way I'm living. Plus, these enemies ain't no friends to me. That Hennessy, get them froggy, they gon' rest in peace. They testing me, pray to God that they let me be. My family need a leader, so I'm staying free. Keep it legal, I spit the late flows. 36 can play the game just like Otebo. Just follow me though, just let the streets know. Jersey master with the craft, know he keep the heat though. I'm talking candles, put that name on the mantle, I dismantle all your squad, pick apart, leave them all examples. Them coppers be taking samples, nothing left. I burnt them. Welcome everybody to another edition of the Community Soldier Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Counts. Creator of the Community Soldier Podcast, Executive Director of Jackson Strength Network. Now, I want to give you guys a quick update about the Reed Manor resource event and let you guys know how well that went. We had a pretty good turnout. We had a very good crowd. Me and all of our team, I just want to give a special thank you first to them. Tanisha Brown with C1 Teach One. She showed up full force like she always does. My guy Josh, representing our veterans specialist for Jackson Strength Network. All of my team that's in the backgrounds helping, like Mike Miracle, also Larry as well, Larry Harris. I want to give a special thank you to all of our supporters that have been assisting us with helping the residents and helping us basically be there for the people, man. I want to give a special thank you to everyone that has donated, that has helped us keep people in hotels. I want to report that we kept 7 families in the hotels. It was about 17 to 18 people total. We made sure that they were fed, housed, we made sure they had resources, and we did assessments with each resident. And I want to thank you guys for each of your roles that y'all played in making that happen. But I want to talk about the event yesterday, right? The event yesterday went really well. I know for us, we had over 30 people that we served at our table, passing out different resources that the community dropped off to us. So all of the donations that you guys gave us, for instance, like all of the toothpaste, cosmetics, a sister who works at the hospital dropped off some packages of underwears, some kits like hygiene kits, different size underwears, men's and women's. So what we were able to do was we gave each person a bag that came to our table, and we just opened up and we just started divvying out all of the supplies that we had, allowing people to pick what they need and take what they need. Instead of us customizing the bag one way, we gave people that diversity of choice. So it was really nice, man. We also did an assessment for the residents that came through, trying to assess some of the future needs. So I believe that the event as a whole was a great event. We had some negatives, but we'll speak on those things later. But overall, it was a great event, man. I want to show you the video from the news.
It continues to support those affected and displaced after the Reed Manor Apartments fire earlier this month. Today at the King Center in Jackson, several organizations provided needed resources to residents during the Reed Manor resource event. That included food assistance, Meijer gift cards, mental health support, and transportation to and from hotels. One of the organizations providing resources today was United Way of South Central Michigan.
We lost everything from, in some cases, documents, phones, all their furniture, clothing. There's needs related to mental health. They've been through a very, very traumatic event.
United Way is still raising money for its disaster relief fund. If you're looking to help those impacted, you can donate to the fund to help those in need.
All right, guys. Y'all ready for the smoke, man? Yeah, ready. I got a lot to talk about today. I truly do. I have a lot to talk about. I mean, it's just a lot of things that I really don't think like we understand the way we should understand them. And I just want to share with y'all a couple things. For one, because I want to see, you know, if your understanding of it is the same as mine. And if not, what can we do to get it on that same level? I think sometimes we have to hear the message from another person, in order to really get the message. So I think that's what God has called me to do today, right? See, a lot of people think that, you do these things for the community for reasons that they don't understand. But there's only one reason that we even do the things that we do for the community. And that's because of this one commandment, this one principle that we're supposed to have this understanding, right? See, everything that I've learned and everything that I do is based upon the teachings of Jesus, the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, right? That's really what I studied a lot in my transition to change, because who better to study from than this messenger, right? The messenger of truth. So Jesus taught that caring for the weak and needy is a central and active commandment, identifying himself directly with the vulnerable. Identifying himself directly with the vulnerable. That means the hungry, the sick, the imprisoned. That means the drug addicts, the prostitutes. That means everybody. He instructed followers to show compassion, share resources, and serve without expecting repayment, stating that serving the least of these is equivalent to serving himself, right? It's like serving him automatically. So why I want to start with there, man, because there was a couple commandments that he gave us that I don't really understand if we understand them or not. But let's just run through them real quick. First of all, the direct identification with the poor, Jesus declared in Matthew 25, the verses there, that whatever is done for the most vulnerable, the poor, or the outcast is done directly for him, right? He urged everyone to give to those who beg from you. You're supposed to give to the people who ask you. And from one who takes away your goods, do not demand them back. Do not demand that you get it back. That's emphasis, right, on generosity, right? Hospitality to the outcast. Jesus encouraged hosting banquets for the poor, the crippled, the lame, blind. Not your friends and family and the people that you cool with, right? Not just them. It was everybody. You're supposed to eat with everybody. Not just your friends and the people that you cool with. He gave you a great commandment, right? It's the commandment of love. Caring for the needy is a practical application of the great commandment to love your neighbor as yourself, right? Because we know that there's going to be a great reversal. He says, the poor are blessed, and the last shall be first. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So there's going to be a great reversal when he comes back and make things right in a certain time. So it's our job now to take care of the least of us. Take care of the least of us. That's our job. And that's our mission. Before I get into too deep, real quick, I want to get a quick commercial break, and I want to shout out to our last sponsor of this episode. All right. So the reason for this episode, right, is because the lack of care in our community is what drives me crazy, right? It's the lack of responsibility in our community that's what drives me crazy. It's the seeing the least of us, the ones that can't take care of themselves, the ones that can't fight for themselves, the one that can't speak for themselves, seeing them in hurt, seeing them in pain, seeing them not be treated the way that our God commanded us to treat these people. He commanded us, man. Commanded us to do right by them. And consistently, throughout history, throughout time, I don't care where you go, what place you go, consistently you see the poor are being taken advantage of. The poor are being victimized. The poor are getting left behind. The poor, they just get treated like filth, like trash, like they don't deserve to live, like they're not real people. And it's confusing to me how we can say that we are a Christian or a Muslim society and yet not practice the principles that our books teach us. I don't understand that. Like, just love, man. Look at this, man. Look at this, man. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if this was you, right? And this was everything you had that you had owned, right? Everything that you own reduced down to nothing. How would you feel about that? And then have the understanding, right? A lot of people truly don't understand the magnitude of this catastrophe. And I know people don't understand because there's no like nice way to explain it, but I have to be the voice to explain it to y'all so that you can understand the magnitude of what we're dealing with. See, our society, right, we have a way of dealing with the things that we don't want to talk about by ignoring them or hiding them, putting them away. And for a long time in Jackson, our answer for hiding people that we didn't know how to deal with was to put them in this one place, was to stick them there. And society and systems designed this way because it's easier to do this than to treat the root causes, the root issues. It's easier to do this than to put money into real resources to treat the real causes, the real root problems. So let me start by giving y'all some understanding, because I get feedback from the community and they say, Justin, you need to do this. Justin, we with you, but you need to do this. Justin, you need to stop doing that. And they don't understand me. They don't understand people in general. And that's okay, right? I tell you all the time, God gives each person their own level of understanding. And for me, being a case manager, understand trauma. I'm trauma informed because I'm a person that has gone through much trauma in my life. I have a childhood ACE score higher than 11. So you have to understand that science tells you that, right? My life expectancy is cut short by at least 20 years than a person that has an ACE score of 4 or less, right? This is a traumatic response that manifests into reality for a person because of their experiences that they go through. Now, because of this trauma that I face, yes, I smoke a vape cigarette, right? And people judge me, especially people in the church. They judge me. They say, oh, we love Justin's message, but he smokes. He smokes. But you don't understand. Being a person with trauma, it takes me a lot of energy to do these things. I'm not a social person, even though it seems that I'm a social person. It's very hard for me. I'm what they call expert at masking. I can put on a mask and I can blend in anywhere. It's because I've learned to observe you and watch how you act, and then I mimic it. But it's very exhausting for me. It comes with a lot of anxiety. It comes with a lot of questioning, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of worrying and fears inside my own mind. This is why I tell y'all I fight battles daily within my own mind, right? Within my own self. And the only thing that helps keep me calm, the only thing that helps keep me level is when I hit this vape every once in a while. This is a direct product, a result of my trauma. I started smoking in 6th grade. I was skipping school to walk to the local party stores in my neighborhood in New Jersey, and I was buying cigarettes for $1 with my bus money. I could buy 4 cigarettes for $1, and I started smoking in 6th grade, elementary. And that's a habit that only got worse as I got into the military. In the military, smoke them if you got them. That was a classic phrase back then, 2002, right? Society, coping mechanisms, research those things, right? So me understanding myself, I understand trauma, and I understand trauma in other people because I can put myself outside of myself, right? I can put myself out of myself, meaning it's not about me. It's not about what I think. It's not about what I think a person should do. It's not about what I think a person should be. It's not about what I think. And why? It's because God commanded you not to judge. It's not your job. It's not your job to judge nobody. It's not. It's your job to help. And a lot of people just judge. And they judge without knowing anything. So they are actually, what do they call that word? When you don't know something, that means you're ignorant, right? You're ignorant to the facts. So when you guys talk about people that are substance abuse addicted, right? Substance abuse. Do you understand the numbers behind substance abuse in our country? People don't just wake up and decide, I'm going to be the worst of the worst and do the worst of the worst things, right? They suffering from the clutch of a demon, a vicious demon. And I know this demon because I was born to it. I was born to it, this addiction. People don't just wake up and decide I'm going to be addicted for the rest of my life, that I'm going to steal, that I'm going to rob, that I'm going to do whatever I can to get high. People don't just wake up and make that decision. Most people that suffer from substance abuse suffer also from a mental health disorder, right? It goes hand in hand. Psychologists know this, and they're actually working on this. How can we treat this? Because we understand that there's a mental chemical imbalance, right, in the brain. And a lot of that is caused by traumatic experiences. See, most of us don't study enough to really understand. But God says, study to show thyself approved. He didn't mean just studying the Bible. He meant studying life as well. See, when you study life and you understand science and you understand trauma, you understand that in a child's brain, it doesn't fully develop until they're 25 in most cases, especially young men. It don't develop until they're 30. Your brain, it don't fully develop. So while it's developing, we don't understand the ramifications of the trauma that we pushing on our kids while their brains are developing. Sometimes the things that we hate about our children were caused by us because we don't even understand what's happening to them when we're yelling at them, when we're cussing them out, when we're whooping them when they're little. We don't even understand how loud it is to their young undeveloped ears and to their young undeveloped brains that's trying to process all of these emotions and adrenaline and cortisol. We don't understand the damage that we're doing to our kids, making them have learning disorders, making them be autistic, making them have ADHD, making them have bad choices through the trauma that we push on them. And then we send them out into the world, right? Without the tools that they need to succeed. Without no tools in the toolbox. So when they get to a point in life where they need certain resources, they have nowhere to go, right? They have nowhere to go. But they have somewhere to go because the streets always have something for you. And people who have trauma and have been through trauma, let me explain something about our brains. People that go through especially earlyhood trauma, childhood trauma, what we call ACEs, your brain actually starts to not develop the cells. You can light up a child's brain and you can see the cells just like our cells, and you can see them developing, the bright spots. In children with trauma, you'll see a lot of black spots in their brain, especially in their frontal cortex, right? That controls all of your advanced functionings, all of your thinking, your reasonings, all of those things. You'll see black spots. That means those spots are dead. Those are cells that are not alive. They have been killed because of the trauma. And these children, they suffer from learning disabilities, right? They might not be able to read, talk like other kids. They might just have bad grades in general, can't sit still. These children already, they know that due to the trauma, right? Now they're gonna make bad decisions because our brains have a safety mechanism, right? It's called fight or flight, right? This fight or flight response system, it's responsible for producing that adrenaline for the mother so she can lift that car up off her baby. It's responsible for that adrenaline for that man, so he could be a warrior and save his whole village from death. It's those same chemicals, right? When they enter a child that's not ready to receive those, right? Their brain is not ready to process those things. It actually destroys their brain cells. It actually destroys their brain cells, right? Due to the trauma. These kids can't learn the same. I know that. And we also develop bad choice habits because of the trauma. when a person who's in trauma, your brain automatically defaults to the quickest thing that it knows. So it's gonna take a shortcut, just like most people. So when the old lady that's European is on the elevator and she sees my black self get on the elevator and she clutches her purse, I don't take it personal all the time because I know that's her brain doing a shortcut, defaulting all decision making, defaulting all logic, and defaulting all reason to protect her. And the reason her brain is doing that because she listened to Fox News. And on Fox News, they make the assumptions that most of us black dudes is angry, we violent, and we criminals. So of course, when she see me jump on the elevator and she clutch her purse, it's because Fox News tells her that I'm the Negro that's gonna steal her purse and run up off the elevator. So her brain is automatically taking the shortcut, the default to protect. We do this all of the time. This is where unconscious bias comes from. Unconscious bias. That's where that's born, right? So understand, people that are in trauma, their brains make shortcuts and it's automatically going to default to protect self. Protect self in the moment. They're not thinking about the future. They're not thinking about ramifications. They're not thinking about anything else. They're only thinking about protect self in the moment. So a lot of times they default to substance abuse. We default to substance abuse, right? My first case here was weed. First case here was weed. As an Air Force veteran, visiting my mother that I didn't get a chance to know because the system took her away from me. Trying to get to know my brothers and sisters that I never got to know because I was born and raised in New Jersey. I had an ounce of weed coming home from the Rocket. And a Blackman Township police officer pulled me over and said that I was distributing marijuana. I told that officer directly, listen, I purchase in bulk so I don't have to keep running out and making these chances with life. And this is the medication, the only thing that I can use that can help me with my mental and my PTSD. Showed him my military ID, Air Force ID. Showed it to him. Showed him my New Jersey driver's license that I didn't even have a Michigan driver's license at this time. That man still took me to jail, still put me on, all types of probation fees, all of that stuff. Ruined my life. They didn't have to do that. And I know they don't have to do that because there have been many places where cops don't act like that. But it's a trap. And it's all a money trap. And that's just my trap, how they got me, right? And then you look, now they making millions of dollars off of this stuff. You think they took that off of my record? No, that's still on my record. Still get denied housing, jobs, and opportunities because of this charge that they put on my record. So when y'all understand that people that go through trauma, man, it's not the same as you. They're not going to make the same logical decisions and the same logical choices that you're going to make because people that are in trauma, their brains are different. Our brains are wired different, and life affects us differently. We respond to life differently. Like, I have no idea. So the judgment that comes from people that don't understand, that's really hard for me to deal with. Like, that's basically the main thing. It's really hard for me to deal with. And just to see it come from so many angles and so many places, that's what's hurtful. So at the resource event, at my table, me and Josh, we just, doing our thing, helping the people, doing the intake forms. And that woman came up. The woman, her name is Joy Flood from Continental Management, MHT. Continental Management. Y'all ever did research on them, man? Y'all ever did any research on them? I think it's time somebody did something. Because actually, man, it's actually a whole little weird little thing, man. when you get into thinking about it. Let's see. Let's take a look at some things, man. I want to show y'all something, man. So the people that currently run the Reed, right? They're called MHT Housing under Continental Management. So first of all, who is Continental Management? Let's see. Since 2003, Continental Management has provided full-service property management to Michigan affordable housing industry, as well as maintain a standard as an industry leader by supporting local, state, and national apartment associations. Continental Management has a wealth of in-house experience, which allows us to provide training programs and specialized services that other companies typically outsource. Most training and education is taught by our 5 National Apartment Association certified advanced instructor trainers. We provide training in fair housing, customer service, risk management, leasing, outreach, compliance, inspection, legal processing, leadership, and finance. Continental Management also has several specialized departments. We offer legal services, security management, landscaping, facilities team, and compliance management. This allows Continental Management to reduce operation costs by decreased expenses of outside vendors and consultants. So they do everything in-house. Everything. 100% in-house. Right? Whoa. Those are some beautiful communities right here. This is who runs Reed Manor. And you might ask yourself, how could a company like this run Reed Manor? They got a lot of beautiful properties, 100 properties in Michigan and Indiana. Hundreds of properties. That's interesting. What is MHT Housing? What makes MHT Housing Inc. different from the rest? From the looking for spaces that need some love to finding people, places to call home, we put their same amount of heart in each of their process. The MHT since 1990 has developed and operated over 50 affordable housing communities. They are active supporters of the community in which their properties are located and are continuously striving to make a difference. The MH team partners with citizens and business organizations to sponsor activities such as community cleanups, safety education programs, health initiatives, and employment development activities. Seems like they do a lot. They've got Ambrose Ridge, Silver Creek, Chase Run, they in Gratiot, Dearborn. They're everywhere. And now they are managing Jackson Housing Commission. Did y'all know that? Now, Continental Management, which is owned by MHT or MHT Housing, I don't know which one it is. One of them is a nonprofit. The other one is a for-profit. So you have a for-profit company that owns a nonprofit that manages both. So they own some profit and they got some nonprofit housing. They mix the two because it's legal for people to mix the two. Right? So let's check out Jackson Housing Commission's website. You find your about section. Who's the staff? They've got central staff. Nothing about this MHT people. So I wonder, do the residents even know that they're not even being managed by the same people anymore? I wonder. Wow. What? That's odd. Let's go back to when I worked there. Oh. That's how it used to look when I worked there. Minute meetings. Now, when you go 2017, 2016, they're all there, 15. That's interesting. One for the whole year, and it ain't posted. So who are these people? Who are these people? I have no idea. So one of the things that this lady said to me was, do you know who I am? So this woman at the event came up to my table and started barking orders at me. She says, you need to have everybody go to the community action agency table right now. Right now, you need to send all of them over there. Mind you, the resource event had already been going on for over 2 hours already at this point. She had just walked into the building, 2 hours late to the resource event tailored to her residence. She over 2 hours late, comes right in, starts barking orders at me. You need to have everyone go to the community action agency table. So I said politely, excuse me, ma'am, I'll send them over here when we get done. No, you need to do it right now, right now. So I said, excuse me, ma'am, if you wanted them to sign up, maybe you should have been here on time. I said, I was on time. She's like, I don't got time for this. Do you know who you talking to? Do you know who I am? I'm Joy. Before she can give her name out, I said, I don't care who you is. I don't care who you is. Don't scatter on that way because we know who you are. We know exactly who you are. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. First, I want to show y'all this, right? Because before I knew who she was, she showed me who she was, right? She showed me who she was. In the MLive article, she says, it is difficult to even respond to it. Joy Flood said, could it have been avoided? Well, I don't know. She said the woman identified as Sherry Lauer jumped from the building and she does not know why. The fire department responded quickly and went into every unit, she noted. So I don't have the details on that to share with anybody other than to say it's under investigation. Flood did not know Lauer, but longtime Jackson housing staff did. She said she works for MHT Housing and its subsidiary, Continental Management, has a contract with Jackson Housing Commission. It took over management in September. She said the I building at Reed Manor in the northwest area of the complex has been condemned, and she could not say any more about it. We don't know the future status of I building, right? She does not have information about what caused the fire, it got out of the hand. She said it received complete clearance in regards to fire safety. So yes, there were alarms. There was all kinds of stuff. There was also human nature. Do you listen to alarms or do you ignore them? First of all, Damon, I want to call it something else, but I'm trying to be polite on this live. First of all, do you do fire safety? Do you do fire safety drills at your apartment complex? For the residents that are, I'm talking about, these are the most vulnerable of us. I have a man that burnt his foot trying to get out of the apartment because he couldn't get out fast enough. There's a man in there with no legs. No legs. And the elevators don't work. So, and then on top of that, do anybody know the fire routes, how to escape out of this building that's like a maze? Were there any fire drills done to teach residents how to exit out of a building safely? Was there anything done by your organization to ensure the safety and the knowledge of how to get out, where to get out, even though y'all put a gate up? Even though that y'all put a gate up. So I knew who she was in the beginning. I know she was a demon. And I'm going to keep talking to the demon the way the demon need to be talked to. I don't care no more. I try to be nice, try to work with people. And y'all know I work with everybody, right? Y'all know that about me. I work with everyone equally. But for the people that continually show that they have no care for our community, for the people that continually show they have no respect for the people of our community, they will always receive the smoke from me. And people just have to understand that this is my mission. This is what God called me to do. This is my mission. Because a lot of people can't speak for themselves. And if you want to understand and if you want to know, come with me sometimes. Come with me so you can feel these tears. So you can shed these tears too. Come with me. Come visit some of these rooms. Come talk to the people yourself and see how they lie, how they said they gave these people a week to get their stuff out. They gave them 15 minutes, one day, 15 minutes. I know a guy who was in a hospital because he got burnt and he never even got an opportunity to get his stuff. And he said to me, he said, look, my wallet is right in the window. Literally, you could just slide the window open and my wallet will fall out. They won't even let me get that. I said, they can't because the building is condemned. The building is condemned now. They waited too long. People lost their mother's ashes. Valuable things like that they can't get back. One resident was so upset, he called the police on them last week. He called the police on them because he got there and they wouldn't let him in the building because the building is condemned. The building is condemned. They can't they can't let him in the building because the building is condemned. So he called the police on them. But that's because they weren't informed. They weren't given the proper time to get their stuff out. She showed just who she was. Yeah, definitely. She lied right to the people's face. You see, I'm like too much of a disruptor, and I know that. And they don't always invite me to stuff. But I just so happened to get invited to these particular meetings because the Red Cross lady slipped up and said that there was a meeting with the mayor and Jackson Housing Commission and the city officials to see what was going on with the Reed. So I was like, damn, I want to be in this meeting. How can I get the info? So I had to bogart my way into them, literally. And if it wasn't for Tanisha, I probably would have never got in, honestly. If it wasn't for Tanisha, James Brown on Facebook, I would have never got in these meetings. Because she got right on the phone, boo, 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 got us in. She got me in. And with me being there, I got to sit there and listen to what came out of this woman's mouth. She said to him that nobody slept in the cars the first night after the fire, which directly went against what I reported. Because, see, when I took this picture right here, as well as several other pictures, I took these pictures with my drone, right? Y'all know, I take them with my drone. And I was so upset when I made that live video because I pulled up and I seen one of my OGs, one of my good friends, brother elderly brother that I know sleeping in his car. And I was talking to him actually when I was flying and taking these pictures. And I seen him in there with the blankets all over him. I seen the car running, know he using up his gas. And it broke my heart. And I seen another brother that I know. His son was a rapper here, and we used to rap together. So I used to call his dad Unc. Right? I saw him out sleeping in his truck, car running, wasting up their gas. And it broke my heart. Seeing people coming up out of the C building and they're like, we don't know what's going on. They don't got no room for us. They telling us to just go to the shelter. They telling us to just go to the shelter. We don't have nowhere to go. They telling us to just go to the shelter. I'm like, what? So yeah, I got angry and I jumped on the Facebook because that's all I knew how to do. Right? But this woman went on there and told them directly, ain't nobody sleep in their cars. Ain't nobody sleep in their cars. She told them directly to their face. I gave them all a week to get out, their stuff out. I gave them all a week to get their stuff out. It just wasn't consistent with what we've been told at all. And understand, like, so for the people, right, this part of the building is severely damaged, an I building, but the rest of the building, which is on the left-hand side of us, which you can't see in the pictures, for the most part, most of that building was relatively straight. So those people like, why can't I get my stuff? The fire was way over here. If this part of the building is condemned, how come the office underneath it isn't condemned? How come the office underneath it is still open, maintenance man still coming in and out of that, but the rest of the building is condemned, the whole L? Right? Those are the questions that they asking. And I don't got no answers for them because I don't work there. I don't know what they feel. But all I know is the people that are in charge of this down there, they not right. They not right. And for that lady to say, scream on me and say, do you know who I am? I took a lot of offense to that. I don't care. I don't care who you is. And I know these people gonna eviscerate me for this, right? I know I'm gonna be the great sacrifice because of this. Because they already starting. They already talking about me crazy. They already spreading rumors and lies and all of this crazy. But that's the thing, man. I'm an Air Force veteran, man. We believe in honor and integrity. Integrity means doing what's right even when no one's watching, right? And I do what's right because I can't deal with the negative energy, the negative karma. I can't deal with God's chastisements. So I gotta do what's right. Gotta do what's right. Every morning I pray that I can continue on the path of righteousness every single day because I know what the path of destruction leads to. I know what pride leads to. Pride comes before the fall. And a lot of people, they act out of pride. But I know where pride leads you. To destruction, to death. So my message to her is, she better understand who we are as a people. Because God gave us a commandment. He said to take care of the least of those. The least of these. The ones that can't take care of themselves. The ones who can't speak for themselves. That was our direct message, was to take care of them. The disabled. And what I was saying before, Jackson has a way of hiding things, and our way of hiding things has forever been stick them in Reed Manor. Reed Manor has always been the spot where we put our disabled people, our mentally ill people, our people that suffer from substance abuse, right? We know that. As a community, we know that, right? So guess what? Other apartment complexes, they like, we don't want them people. Other property managers like, nah, we don't want that community. We can't deal with that community. We don't want them here. Real talk. That's why these people ain't gonna be housed like that. Because we only had one spot to stick all of the people that are disadvantaged, all of the people that are the least of us. We only had one place to put them. And it's always been Reed Manor. It's always been this way. The only place that we have in the city for people in this category, right? So now that they don't have that, we short. And what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Because we only have one place that we have to stick all of the people that are substance abuse addicted. We only have one place to stick all the people that are trauma addicted. We only have one place to stick all the people that have mental illness. We have only one place to stick all of the people that are on poverty, that are on Social Security, only get $900 a month. We only have one place to put them, right? The least of us, right? The ones that we was commanded to take care of. The sheep that God said to feed and to clothe. We only have one place to put them. So now that this one place doesn't exist, now we're seeing the challenges it is to find housing for them, because there is no other such place for them. These are things that they won't say to you, but I will, because I understand and I know. I understand and I know. I've had this understanding for a long time, and I try to help y'all understand this too. And this is a hard thing to say, and it's a hard thing to have that realization too. But our society doesn't want to fix the problems. We want to put a Band-Aid on the problem. And for years, our Band-Aid for the problem was to stick all the people right here. Long as it ain't in our neighborhoods, long as they ain't going messing with our Northwest schools and our good districts, long as they ain't messing with the things that we got going on, just stick them all in this one place right here. Stick them all right there. The thing is, you can't sue the Jackson Housing Commission because they're not in control. And you can't sue Continental Management because they're protected by MHT, which is another company. And when you understand that this company runs a lot of apartment complexes around here, why they don't put people in Abbey Villas? They run them too. Why they don't put people in the Granadas? They run those too. Why won't they put people in Alpine Lake? They run those too. Why? Y'all know why. Because I don't want this man over here. He got schizophrenia. He hear voices in his head. I don't want that guy in my community making a mess and messing up my numbers over here. No, we can't have that. Or these guys got bugs. We don't want these bugs in our units over here. We can't have that. See, they feel that these people don't deserve adequate housing. That's why the housing that they manage looks so much better than this property. That's why all of the properties look so much better than this property, because they believe that these people don't deserve nothing, the least of us. The ones that God told us that we're supposed to take care of, they're the ones that they do filthy. Filthy. Y'all don't believe me? Like, I wish you could really see sometimes. Sometimes I wish y'all could really see, man. If you've seen the conditions of some of the apartments down there, some of the conditions that people are subjected to live in down there, and you would think like, wait a minute, you know, they gotta have a standard, they gotta keep things right a certain way. But all of that is just garbage. It's just nonsense. Because at the end of the day, Everybody work together. It's all part of the same system, same people. So what we thinking some people care about us, they don't care nothing about us, man, at all. And we know they don't care about us because they do stuff like this. Leave this for people to move into their apartments like this. This is a fuse box. For y'all that can't really tell what that is, but that's a fuse box in one of their apartments down there. And this is not uncommon right here. This is not uncommon right here. Not every apartment looked like this, but a lot of them did. And a lot of them looked like that before they even moved in. Before they even moved in. It needs to be an investigation, but who am I to say that? And when I say things like that, they just excoriate me. Like, they just, man, it's vicious with their attacks against me. I hear the rumors they spread out against me, the lies, the slander. And they just know it's so easy to shut me down. I tell y'all that all the time. Me being someone who's formerly incarcerated, someone that has to fight and scratch for every opportunity, for every dollar that I make, for just everything that I do, right? It's very easy for them to shut me down. They slam the door on me very easily. And the more that I speak out, the more doors they slam in my face. Right? The more that I advocate for the people, the more that I become a danger to work for another organization. Right? So I live with that. You know, I live with that, knowing that no organization will hire me, knowing that everything that I do, I have to do it independent because they're not going to support you like that, doing what you do. And I understand, and it's okay, right? I get it. It's cool. I don't have to be in y'all cliques, in y'all circles to survive because I'm a soldier. I done survived in every state across this United States. We're going to keep surviving. We're going to show the people how to survive without you. But y'all have to understand that people that make these type of sacrifices, right, they making real sacrifices for the community because, not for themselves, because ain't no reward in this. Doing what we doing right here, ain't no reward in this at all. You working for free, 100%. And it's because the people that supposed to be working, they not. Just like, for example, at the resource event, you know, they gave them some food boxes, but they was like 60-pound boxes. You know, there was a guy that didn't have no legs. Like, I had to carry his box on the bus for him. There was nobody there to carry the boxes for them. And there's nobody gonna be there to help them unload the boxes. And I'm thinking about that. Like, damn. Yeah, that's nice. You gave them a nice box of food, but damn. They on a bus. They walking like, yo, you got an 80-pound box down there. And they elderly. You know? I'm the only one thinking like this. So I'm the one running around filling in the gaps. Like, and when you talk to the people, ask the people who doing for them. Ask the people who doing for them. Who do they see the most? Ask them. Don't ask me. Ask them who is doing anything for them. Ask them. And let them tell you. Let them tell you. And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way, especially when you find out that people got a lot of money to do what they do. They get a lot of money to do what they do. They're supposed to be taking care of people a certain way. And for them to be trying to push all the responsibilities back on our community, like, without trying to hold no accountability, because that's what's happening. If y'all want to know the truth, they're going to push it back on us, the community. And when it comes to finding housing for people, it's going to be our responsibility. So that's what I tell you. And a lot of this might cause me to not be invited to meetings. A lot of this might cause me to get ostracized, or whatever the case may be. But it is what it is, man. I can only do so much. You know, that's why I tell y'all so much. I try to keep y'all in the loop, and I try to tell y'all to do y'all research, pay attention. Like, do your research. These are things that you can Google. Like, a lot of the board meetings, they're open to the public. You can come. You can come and you can sit and you can ask questions. We need more people to do that, like, for real. Because it can't just be one. Like I said, it's easy to squash me. That's why they come at you like, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? That's the gangster stuff, man. If y'all don't think that the political world and the business world is full of gangsters and crooks, y'all crazy. It's just like the streets. That's why I laugh at them, because people that go to college and that do this thing, they think that they so far above the street people and street culture, but they don't understand they be perpetrating the same cycles as street people. It's the same thing, man. You got cliques, you got gangs. You got plenty cliques and you got plenty gangs when it comes to politics and nonprofits and city stuff. You got businesses. When it comes to businesses, all you got to do is follow the money. Follow the money. You will see they is like gangs. This stuff is like gangs in New York around here when it comes to our local politicians and our local players that push pieces around here. They remind me of what was that old school gangsters in the unions, how the mafias was back in the day. Yeah, that's how they remind me. They got a real mafia around here. They controlling everything. They pushing pieces, moving things around, moving, grooving, vibing, and sliding, like my man be saying. TikTok dude. They be doing that. So these people in positions and they making the decisions for everybody. And a lot of times they be for their self-interest, for their own goals. And I dig it. I dig it. I understand. Do you, player? But don't do it off the backs of our people, man. Do it off the backs of them, man. Go do it to somebody else. Do it to somebody else. Yeah, we don't get paid nothing. Like, yes, like Davida say, we don't get paid, no stipends, no gas cards, nothing. 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 I had to close my store and go to meetings. Got to close my store and go to help feed people. My wife is in the hospital, and I'm running back and forth from the hospital to the hotels. My wife is in the hospital, got to have a surgery, and I'm running back and forth from the hospital to the hotels, feeding people, transporting people, showing up to city meetings, doing this, doing that, because nobody else could do it for them. Nobody else was doing it for them. I ain't asked for it, none of it, but nobody else was doing it for them. And I knew that somebody needed to do that for them. And because they didn't have enough care and because they didn't have enough attention, there's so many of them left behind. Never got a chance to get their stuff. Never got a chance to get their documentation. Still don't have their medication. Still don't know where they're going to live. There's so many of them that are living with family right now that the Housing Commission has not even addressed them. They just like, oh, y'all living with family, y'all good. Some of them like, hold on now. My people's is living in subsidized housing themselves. I can't be here like that. I can't be here like that. But yet they tell them, oh, y'all good. Y'all got somewhere to stay. Y'all good. No contact with them, no communication, no nothing. So all of them are coming up to us. I wish I could share the responses. Uh, we don't know any information. We don't have any information. We weren't given no contact. We were given 15 minutes to get our stuff. Can we go back and get our stuff? When are we going to be moved out? How long are we going to be in the hotels? Do we have to pay rent? Are we going to get refunded for the rent that we just paid? Are we going to get refunded for the rent that we just paid? You know, all of these questions that they want to know, and they're not getting no answers to them. And then there's another layer to it too. Many people was living illegally on the lease. Those people are now homeless. They out here. And as a case manager, I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna go live with somebody else. They're gonna go stay with somebody else now. So now you're gonna have people moving into other people's units and messing up their stuff, taking up their resources that they barely have. So the domino effects is about to fall, and we're gonna see it. But be prepared for the number of homelessness to rise. Be prepared to see the number of people walking around on the streets rising. Be prepared to see that this is a long journey that is ahead for these people. Be prepared. I can't wait for them to start telling you the truth. But we need more people to start showing up to these meetings because they be lying, man. They lie. They lie, they lie, they lie. And every time I object to their lies, they make it out to me as they make me seem like the angry Negro that don't know how to work with them and don't know. No, I don't know how to work with y'all, and I never will, and I never care to. It's not my job. My job is to advocate for the people. If you do your job, you'll never see me. You'll never hear from me if you was doing your job. I would have never been down there if you was doing your job, because I wouldn't have needed to, right? We would have just shared the post and commended you for doing amazing work. But because the people call me and because the people know who to reach out to when they need something, we got to be there because you not doing your job, because you not doing what you're supposed to do. And they got our people down there, good people that I know that work for Jackson Housing Commission. They got them like captives down there, captives. They hands is tied behind their back, they feet tied up, and they like captives in their own ship. They captives in their own ship because you got these people over the top of them now that's telling them, this how high you can jump. This how high you can jump. Mm-hmm. And they talking to them reckless. Yeah, and they talking to them reckless. She said directly, and I quote, "These people are all disabled, elderly, and drug addicts. There's nothing left in there. There's mostly just trash, junk. These are people that were drug addicts that we're talking about." I end quote. That's how she feel about the community. Y'all see how I talk about my people. I said these is our fathers, our uncles, our aunties, our cousins, our friends, our neighbors. They are brothers, they are sisters. I would never identify them as that. But that's how somebody that's not from here, that don't care about our community, that's how they gonna talk. That's why she thought that she had the one up when she saw just a plain old Negro like me step on the scene. She thought that I was easy to be stepped on because she didn't know. She didn't know. But I got a message for you, Joy Flood. not like a little roach that you can step on that's running around in the red. You're gonna find that out. I'll never be that roach that you can step on. And I don't care who you are. This message is for anybody. If you're doing our people bold like these people do, you always gonna have smoke coming from me. Because God created some Negroes to sit in church, but God created some of us to be Samson, to be mighty warriors, swinging the jawbone of a donkey. Because sometimes some people need to be slapped upside the head, and they need a warrior strong enough to do some slapping. So our message is to the people that are doing our people wrong, man, either do our people right, or you're going to see the consequences of your actions. Like, is that we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop voicing it. We're not going to stop until it becomes national news, until people see what you've done to our people, how you've left them out there with no resources, how you're trying to push everything. She was screaming at me, make sure you send all of those people to Community Action Agency, because she is dumb and she is unaware. She thinks that Community Action Agency is going to be able to house all these people. She thinks Community Action Agency is going to come in and swoop in and save them. Lady, I worked at Community Action Agency. I know how the voucher system go here. I know how many vouchers we got in this county. I know that there's not a lot. I know that they won't be able to skip the line over everybody else that's been on the voucher list for all of this time. All of the people that been in the shelter already, they're not going to be able to skip over them and get a voucher. I know these things. But Joy Flood, you don't know these things because you're not from this community. You don't know nothing about this community. You manage apartment complexes. That's what you do. So stick to managing apartment complexes. But when it comes to this community, you can't speak on this community because you don't know nothing about this community. Those of us that have been working in this community, that have been putting blood, sweat, and tears for this community, we the ones that can speak on this community because we know. We know that there's not many vouchers for the community. We know that there's not many places to stick the most disadvantaged of us there. I'm talking about people that need wheelchair access. They need all types of support. And we know that there's not many places for people like this in this category. We know that there's no mental hospitals. We know that Lifeways don't have no permanent supportive housing. We know that there's not many apartments out there that are handicap accessible, that are affordable to a community that makes $900 a month. We know that. But Joy Flood, you don't know that because you from whatever area you came from. From wherever area you came from. And I think that you need to go back to wherever you came from, because no way should we have a private company managing our public housing commission. No way should there be a private for-profit company managing our public housing commission. Public housing should always stay public housing. Everything should be open to the public. There's no reason that there shouldn't be board meetings for public housing not up and not available for the public to see. And they don't do that because Joy Flood is a fraud. And the organization is a fraud. And y'all doing sneaky stuff. Where is our money? Where is our tax money going? If it's not going to support the ones that it's supposed to go to. Because my God sent us a commandment. He said to take care of the ones that can't take care of themselves. That means my grandmother that's 67 years old that don't got no place to live, she's supposed to have a place to live because my taxes paid for it. She paid for it on the other half. She paid her 30%. I paid the other 70%. We paid the other 70%. So we demand that you put her in housing. We demand you put them in housing now. Not put it off on our community. Not put the responsibilities in somebody else's hands. It's your job. Since you want to have this title, right? Since you want to have this title, there is no way a for-profit company should be managing a public housing commission. It just don't even make sense. But they do this stuff. They're allowed to do this stuff all across the nation. And I tell y'all all the time, our true fight is not against each other. It's not racism, black versus white. It's a fight against the system, the oppressors, the enemy that oppresses us, the enemy that subjects us to bull stuff. They're the ones that we have to fight against because they're the ones living in their comfortable lives, and they come down here managing our lives, managing and making decisions that affect our lives, and then they got the nerve to speak on us like we trash. She said, I don't know why this woman jumped out of her window. Like there wasn't a fire going on. Like there wasn't elevator problems in them buildings. Like there wasn't easy access to get up out of them buildings. Like there wasn't a gate stopping the firefighters from getting in. But you don't know why this woman jumped out the window. Get up out of here, man. Insensitive people that don't care about our community, running our community. That should never happen. You should never have a for-profit company like that managing a public housing commission. Public housing is supposed to be for people that are the most disadvantaged, the ones that can't take care of themselves. We're supposed to take care of them. The public takes care of them. Public, not private sectors. Not private. Private sectors don't have to put their board meetings up there. But public, we pay for this stuff. They're using our tax money. So where the hell is the board meetings? Where's the board meeting minutes? Why they don't exist? Why can't I see what you're doing with our money? Why don't you have the disaster funds that the HUD gives you to be a disaster ahead? Why? Why can't you see what they're doing with their funds? Because they're a private company and they can do whatever they want because people don't pay attention. Go look at Jackson Housing Commission's page and look at their board meeting minutes and see when the last time you see some real good meetings. I guarantee the last time you see some meetings was probably like back when me and Davida and our aunt and all them worked down there. Why is that? Because they don't want you, the public, to know what they're doing with the money. They don't want you, the public, knowing what they were planning for. They don't want you, the public, knowing. That's why you, the public, didn't even know that Jackson Housing Commission was managed by Continental Management. Ask them, do they pay their bills on time? See if they pay their bills on time. When you start to find out, residents that don't even pay electric, their electric was getting shut off. How your electric getting shut off and you don't pay electric? Your property management, they supposed to pay that. How your stuff getting shut off then? Start asking those questions and start finding out what's happening down there. Then you'll see why people are so upset. Then you'll see why this effort had to be like this. Remember, the D building caught fire. The community didn't know nothing about it. Y'all didn't know nothing about it when D building caught fire. Y'all didn't have to donate nothing. We didn't ask for no money. We didn't do none of that stuff that we're doing now. And there was about 60 people up in the D building fire. Go do your research. We didn't ask a single church for nothing because we took care of it. There's funding for that stuff already. Funding for that stuff already built in. HUD provides it. And then on top of that, you can apply for disaster relief from HUD. And HUD will give you disaster relief dollars. That's what we did last time. So the fact that the community got to go through all of this to support these people, and these people are a private company. They manage Alpine Lake. They manage Granada Apartments. You don't see them apartments looking like crap. You don't see those apartments looking like crap. Those apartments look magnificent. If there was a fire in those apartments, do you know what the response would have been? It would have been totally different. But because Reed Manor is a subsidized housing property, public housing, they don't give a dang about us. There's a disinvestment. They don't want to invest in our community. They don't want to invest in making something nice for us. They want to invest in private / nonprofit models because they can put all of their money into building these new units that some of the housing is full rent and then some of the housing is subsidized, right? So if we can tear down these Reed Manors, to get down this ugly apartment complex, and we can replace that with mixed income units, now we can charge higher rents, get higher incomes in here, and then still have the subsidized model, still get the HUD money from HUD, all of that money from HUD, we still get that, plus we'll get the full rents. This is a win-win model for investors. Because that's all they care about, is the investors. That's the bottom line. It's not about the people. It's about the investors. So ask them in those apartments that they building, how many of those apartments are actually subsidized versus full rent? Go ask them that. You'll find out. Ask them. So when you understand that all of this is a plan, all of this is design, all of this was on purpose, 100%, then you'll start to see why brothers like me get so angry and upset and hurt, and why we crying at night, because I understand the future that's coming for these people, and nobody is trying to tell you. They don't want to tell you the truth. They don't want to be honest with you, but I have to sleep with that on my chest, knowing what's coming, what's going to be ahead for these people. I know. I know because I've been there. I'm a formerly incarcerated felon, 4-time felon, formerly incarcerated. I know what it's like to fill out application after application and application to get denied. I know what it's like to have to sleep in your car because you can't find adequate housing. I know what it's like to have to sleep in your girlfriend's house because nobody will approve you by yourself. I know what it's like to have to live there on the lease illegally and take chances with losing that stuff because you can't get approved. I know what that's like, and I know the reality of it. I know that they can't afford to be on their own. I know that there's no other place designed with them in mind. I know these things. I know because I am a man that deals with the child support system taking 55% of my check, and now I can't afford to live on my own. I can't afford to show that I make 3 times the amount of rent. I can't afford to show these things. So I know somebody that only make $962 a month ain't gonna be able to show that they make $3,000 a month to get approved for this 1-bedroom apartment. I know that they're not gonna be able to get approved because they got an old dope charge from back in 1980 that they still holding over their head. I know that they not going to get approved. So I know what's going to happen to people unless they do something drastic to intervene. Unless we do something drastic to intervene. I know what they're going to do. They're going to push these people away. They're going to push them people away, out of sight, out of mind. Because when they out of sight, they sleeping in them tents. They sleeping in the woods. You don't see them when you walking down West Ave. You don't see them when you go down Michigan Avenue. You don't see them because they tucked off. They tucked away. Now they out of sight, out of mind. They're not your problem no more. So you don't got to deal with them. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. And I know. I've been a housing case manager since 2017. I've heard the stories of men, women, countless men and women that are sleeping in campers not designed to sleep in, with no access to electricity or running water. I've listened to the stories of veterans that have slept in the woods for 5 years. I've listened to the stories of the people that are severely mentally ill, where the systems have failed them and they've been left alone to wander the streets. I know where this story ends. I've seen it a million times before. So knowing where the story ends and being powerless to do anything to change this, that drives me crazy. It drives me crazy to know that you're not strong enough to fight against this system. Because this system that they created, they winning, man. They designed to win. That's what BB the Bomber was talking about when he said, good people die all the time, and they lose to evil people. Because you have to understand, the evil people, God runs the world. They runs this realm we in. The evil people are in charge. And the people, the most vicious people with no heart, they're the ones making the decisions a lot of times. And the people with the good hearts, the ones that's not sleeping at night, a lot of times they powerless to do anything for change. And that's why I keep telling y'all, we need the community to come together. Because together they can't break us. The more of you guys that I have standing beside me, holding me up, we become like a bridge, right? One finger, it's easy to break one finger. 2, it becomes a little bit harder, but I can still break both of these fingers easily. 3 fingers, it comes a little bit harder, but with a little bit more muscle, I can break them. But the more fingers you stack up, the harder it becomes to break. You can't break my hand like this when I got 4 fingers pushed together. It's going to be real hard for you to break my hand when I got 4 fingers together. And that's what unity is about. The more of us that are standing up, the more of us that are speaking up, they can't break us. It's easy to break. Justin, you just nobody. This guy's a nobody with no income, no support. It's easy to break him. But if I get some of y'all strong warriors to stand up with me, to speak up for me, man, to come to some of these meetings, man, to come challenge some of these people, man, speak up, man. That's what I need. What's what we need, man? Speak up. Come show up. Please, man. Because some of y'all have college education. Some of y'all have different resources. Some of y'all have access to powerful people. And you need to be present. You need to be there to speak up for people. You have to. Why are you leaving it to somebody else when you know these people ain't about the right things? We need the community really to come together, man, because this is going to be a long journey, a long fight. I wish I could truly say all of the things I want to say, but if I do, they won't let me keep coming back to these meetings. So I got to water it down until they make their official statements, until they make their official stuff. And we got a big challenge ahead of us, man, and we need a lot of support. But I want you to know that these people ain't happy with me, man. They're not happy with me. And they're going to do everything they can to fight. And that's okay. I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? God didn't call us to be weak. That's why with Jackson Strength Network, God didn't call us to be weak. That's why we Jackson Strength Network. Because Jackson is strong. Our community is strong. We have a lot of amazing people here. A lot of beautiful, beautiful, amazing people here. And this resource event showed me.
It continues to support those affected and displaced after the Reed Manor apartments fire earlier this month. Today at the King Center in Jackson, several organizations provided needed resources to residents during the Reed Manor resource event. That included food assistance, Meyer gift cards, mental health support, and transportation to and from hotels. One of the organizations providing resources today was United Way of South Central Michigan.
They lost everything from, in some cases, documents, phones, all their furniture, clothing. There's needs related to mental health. They've been through a very, very traumatic event.
United Way is still raising money for its disaster relief fund. If you're looking to help those impacted, you can donate to.
Man, a lot of people coming together, showing strength, showing love, and showing unity. That's what's needed to overcome this. And we're going to keep needing people's support. We're going to keep needing people to work together. We're going to need people to advocate to make sure the resources go to the people that need them. We need a lot of things. And if we're going to make some real changes, we need some more soldiers to come to the fight. We need more soldiers to come to the fight. We need more people to be aware of what's going on. We need more people. Because y'all see my face? This is not a face of someone who sleeps well. This is not the face of a man who has much time for his family, for his own children. And this should not be the responsibility of a few. Like, it shouldn't be. We need to come together now. We need to figure out some real answers for people. Because It's not looking good. And I wish I could say more, but I can't. Otherwise, they're not going to keep letting me in these meetings and in these spaces. I hope that the next meeting is open to the public, because I would love for the public to be able to come to these meetings so y'all can hear from the Joy Flood lady herself and these MHT people. But from what I know, and from how she was yelling at me at the event, she's like, make sure you have everybody sign up with Community Action Agency, because she thinks Community Action Agency is going to save them. But me being a housing case manager, I know the reality of it, because this is our city. Anyone listening to me, how long you been on the voucher list? Ladies. Yeah, she said, do you know who I am? Like, I am Joy. And before she can get the flood, I said, I don't give a damn who you is. Hit her with the rock. I don't give a damn. Hit her with the rock. It doesn't matter who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody listening, answer me. When is the last time has someone got a Section 8 voucher in Jackson? When is the last time y'all seen the pull of the Section 8 list for vouchers? When the last time you got an update letter for vouchers in Jackson? Somebody answer me, please. Answer me, please. When the last time y'all seen a Section 8 voucher go out in Jackson? Answer me, please. Because she thinks that the answer is going to be, oh, have all the people sign up with Community Action Agency because what? Because what? Because CAA has to put them on the horror. I know what happens. I was a case manager. The horror manages the homelessness. That's the official homelessness count for the government. Putting them on CAA action, putting them on the CAA list, what that does is it signifies to the government like, hey, we need vouchers because we got X amount of people homeless. And them people upstairs that's over us pulling the strings, it got to go up to Washington. And then Washington's going to tell HUD, like, look, man, we could maybe squeeze like 4 more vouchers out of this because your numbers are still really kind of low. So maybe we can get y'all 4 more vouchers than y'all had before. But look, they said 3 years, 4 years ago, last time any vouchers got pulled. So y'all know how long the voucher list is for Jackson? Could you imagine how long that voucher list is? So me already knowing this, I already know that that's not the answer. That's not the answer to this equation that we got, right? This, how do we get people housed? That's not the answer. The community knows that that's not the answer. People stop calling me for deposit help. I haven't got a phone call about help with a deposit in at least 3 years. Somebody tell me when the last time y'all got help with a deposit from an agency. When the last time you got help with a deposit from an agency? When the last time? Because that stuff don't exist no more. It don't exist no more. People stop calling for that resource. They don't even call no more. Yes, they lying about the homeless numbers. You know why? Because we do the homeless count. I was part of the PIC counts every year. The PIC counts consist of a bunch of case managers like me and homeless representatives. We get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and we go walk the streets. We all get assigned a different area of the neighborhoods, and we're supposed to walk around and find homeless people that we know sleeping around. But the problem is, those counts don't be accurate because we have to go off of the numbers off the shelter. Most likely, we go off the numbers off the shelter. Second, they don't be accurate because of how our people experience homelessness, right? People experience homelessness different ways. Different cultures experience homelessness in different ways. Most African American people in our city will never go to the shelter. Most people from the hood will never go to the shelter. Am I right? Somebody from the hood, please answer me. Why don't we go to the shelter when we homeless? Somebody from the hood, please answer me. Why do we not go to the shelter when we are facing homelessness? Why do we not go? Somebody please comment the answer, because there is a classic answer for Jackson. Every black person in the hood, we'll all say the same thing, why we don't go to the shelter. Somebody tell me the answer, please, in the comments, because somebody from the hood is watching. I know you is. But there's a reason why we don't go. And because we don't go to the shelter, we don't get counted. We're not going to the shelter at all. She knows that. You know that. Because we don't go to the shelter, we don't get counted in the homeless stats. Why? Because black people, we is resourceful. We will figure it out. We go different places. We will hop from couch to couch. We will figure it out. We'll get a girlfriend to let us move in. We will figure it out. So we don't truly get counted on the homelessness, because they don't count if you sleeping on somebody's couch as being homeless. They don't count if you're paying for your own hotel as being homeless. So the brothers and sisters that's paying for their hotels, they not counted as being homeless because they self-sufficient. The person that's sleeping on somebody's couch is not homeless. So you self-sufficient. Even though that person is actively going out, filling out applications, even though that person is actively trying to find their own housing, they're still not considered homeless because they got a couch to sleep on. So none of our numbers are correct when it comes to homelessness. And because that, the horror is what determines the vouchers. The horror is what determines the vouchers. So the only good benefit for getting them on the horror list is that this will signify to HUD that, hey, Jackson needs more vouchers. But it's still not enough numbers to compete with the major cities in Michigan, like the Battle Creeks, the Detroits, the Lansings, the Ann Arbors. All of those places have a huge problem with housing as well, affordable housing. So they're going to get a lot of the vouchers for the state. Trust is the issue, the way they treat us and the bugs. That's a big thing, especially for us going into the shelters. That's a big thing. My wife is not even black, and she will not go to the shelter. She will not go to the shelter. I don't care what you say. You can tell her everything. She wouldn't go to the shelter. I know I wouldn't go to the shelter. I'd rather figure it out. I'll sleep in my car before I go to the shelter. I've done that. I've done that recently. Chose to sleep in my car instead of go to the shelter. So I know that our people aren't being represented in the homelessness count. I know our people ain't being represented in the homelessness count. I know that what's going to happen to the majority of the people that are displaced, because there's just not enough to go around, man. We only had one property, man, to house all of the least of us. And when I say the least of us, I'm talking about the disadvantaged people, the disabled, the mentally ill, the substance abused, all the people, the problem people that we call the problem people. We only had one place to stick them. And instead of addressing the real root causes of problems, we just stick them all in one place and we figure it out. And now that this place is not adequate to hold all of them, now we got to put them other places. And what people are saying, man, I can't deal with that here. We ain't got nobody on scene that can handle schizophrenia. We don't got no case managers on scene that can handle that. Substance abuse. We don't have anybody on scene that can handle somebody with no legs that needs a caregiver. We don't have the abilities to take care of these people. That's the answer we hear. And it's the truth, honestly. That's why case management became a thing for down there. Because they started to see that people had a need, man, that they needed help further than what a traditional apartment complex can give you. That's why they created our jobs and put people like me, Davita, and Ant down there. Because they realized that sometimes they need a specialist who is specialized in trauma, that is specialized in mental health, that is specialized in people to deal with the people. Because we started realizing, like, damn, there's people down there that have lived their whole life with a disability and been managing it on their own, and they go without a lot of times because they just can't do certain things. They may not be able to read. So due to their mental illness, they weren't able to read or go to a regular traditional school, and now they become an adult and they get Social Security, and they just able to live on their own because they was high functioning, and now they just left it thrown out there. We were seeing young men in their early 30s couldn't cook for themselves. Opening up a can of cold ravioli and eating it cold out the can. That was the number one reason Anthony and Hakeem created Feed Thy Neighbor program. Because they were running across young men with mental disabilities that couldn't feed themselves. They were running into elderly people that had extreme mobility issues that were not eating because they couldn't cook, because they couldn't reach the stove in their wheelchair, or it's not comfortable for them to try to cook and they got the walker, can't even, so they weren't eating. Seeing directly the need, and then we were able to meet those needs. Case management existed down there because of the need of the community. And that's why I built up a special place for people down there, because they become like my adult children. You know, it's my adult children, and I love them because these are real people, not disabled people and drug addicts like Joy Flood says. These are real people. These are people that have experienced life. They've experienced the highs and lows. Each one of them have a different, unique story to tell. Some of those stories come with blessings, and some of those stories come with lessons. But each one of them has an amazing, beautiful story, and sometimes a tragic, sad story. But each story is individually their own, and it has a purpose. And if you would just go down there and listen to some of the stories, and listen how systematically some of those people never even had a chance. When you listen and see the unfairness in life. As a case manager, I learned that there is nothing fair about life. And there is nothing that you can understand when it comes to God's ways, right? Because some of us is born to amazing, loving parents that foster us an amazing, beautiful environment. They support us in every single way that they can. And then some of us, unfortunately, are born to perverts, pedophiles, people that take advantage of us, people that are drunk, mentally ill, addicted, substance abuse, traumatized, PTSD. Some of us have parents that have been generational poverty, right? We don't get those choices of who we are born to. We don't get to choose how we are raised. We don't get to choose any of those circumstances. We just have to be. We just have to exist in them. We just have to learn from it and grow from it, right? We don't get to choose. There's just nothing fair about life. Babies die in their sleep. Some people get to live forever. There's just no rhyme or reason to it. But we all deserve to be here. We all deserve to be here. We all deserve to have the same treatment of fairness, the respect of life. We all deserve that. And God said it's our job to take care of those that can't take care of themselves. Now, I ain't gonna keep harping on it, man, but I hope y'all found something that you could take away from this. We need y'all help. We need y'all support. And these people definitely need y'all love, man. Forever rolling. Giants.
instrumental murderer. You already know what time it is. Gangway, we the team. Look, I've been really trying to get it, but the people got their handle in my business. Let's go. People say I need to listen, but the way I be too busy flipping, gotta change the way I'm living. Plus, these enemies ain't no friends to me. That Hennessy, get them froggy, they gon' rest in peace. They testing me, pray to God that they let me be. My family need a leader, so I'm staying free. Keep it legal, I spit the leaf flows. 36 can play the game just like Otebo. Just follow me though, just let the streets know. Jersey master with the craft, know he keep the heat though. I'm talking candles, put that name on the mantle, I dismantle all your squad, pick apart, leave them all